differences between underground and that crowd in Texas. For one, the physical layout of underground. She told the members that the crowd does not assemble right next to the stage.
Protesters gathered at the gates of the COP26 climate talks on Friday to demand more action and the phasing out of fossil fuels. Climate activists from the host groups, including Fridays for Future and Glasgow's Actions team, gathered to protect the lack of progress during said talks. One group had actors wearing masks represented U.S. President Joe Biden and several energy companies and mimicked the U.S. president trying to decide between climate action and fossil fuels. Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah, I just got to think myself here that this climate thing and wanting everybody to be using batteries and all this stuff, well, you're going to have to eliminate air travel. No more airplanes. Okay? No more airlines. You will not be able to move freight anywhere by train or by truck, because they all produce carbon dioxide. Or carbon monoxide, rather. So, how are you going? You talk about having a supply chain problem? You're going to have to go back to back to mules and wagons to move freight. And go back to horse and buggy to get across country. Because you can't take no. You're going to have to stop the buses too. Greyhounds, all that. They're going to have to stop running. Because they run on a diesel engine. Good luck with it, folks.
He-Man, I know that song. And that's all it is, a song. It doesn't entitle any of us to extra privileges or favors from this ship's company. Mr. Klinger, I'm giving these men 8 hours extra duty. See to it that they deliver a full 60 minutes in every hour. Is that clear? I see. And I want it understood that no part of this ship is out of bounds to members of the ship's company. Remember that.
Slob, you're lucky you don't work for a Jap CEO. He'd put you in that grave.
I'd make sukiyaki out of him.
And that goes for you, too. Anybody else? Last call for grappers, and I mean last.
Captain? I consider it my duty to apologize, sir. And request a deck court, fat man.
Forget it, Lieutenant.
Regards to things that they may need, maybe a house payment or a car breakdown or whatever the case may be.
The previous 5Ks have raised about $435,000 for those veterans programs, and organizers with Post 20.
Rise up with Early Bird.
One of them is just loaded up. And another one sitting here. Not what you want to see when you live where I do.
On the span of Thursday, but they weren't seriously hurt. Those struck were working to keep several hundred demonstrators marching on the bridge from falling into the roadway. KGO reports authorities closed part of one lane, jamming traffic. The incident occurred during the jam when an SUV collided with a street sweeper, which was pushed into a lane of the CHP. Several hundred people rallied at the bridge to oppose requirements in San Francisco, Los Angeles, and other cities requiring proof of vaccination for a range of workers, including police, firefighters, and healthcare workers.
Week. And as Fox 5's Rob Durienzo reports now, this loss has hit the law enforcement community especially hard.
Well, there's surely a lot of pain in this community right now. One by one, community members and members of law enforcement laid flowers on the hood of the cruiser that once was Officer Paramhans Desai. This prayer vigil was meant to begin a very long healing process.
I pray this for every man or woman that is protecting us. I simply pray and ask God that you would protect them. And then, Lord, I pray for wisdom for every officer.
More than 100 members of the community and law enforcement came together in prayer outside of Henry County Police Headquarters to lift up Officer Desai's memory.
We're unified behind this family who's given up so much today.
Officer Desai's widow was barely able to stand on her own, completely overcome with grief. One of his little boys laid his hand on his dad's picture.
Not to understand why we're here is something that...
Well, an aide to Mayor Bottoms assured the council members that there are a number of differences between underground and that crowd in Texas. For one, the physical layout of underground. She told the members that the crowd does not assemble right next to the stage. During the best years of the Atlanta New Year's celebration, more than 100,000 people came to Underground Atlanta. After a couple of tumultuous years, a COVID pause.
Is that a misprint? I don't know. It's the turkeys.